What's going on, guys? It's your boy High Life Chronicles, and today, ooh man, I got a nice little story. Now, if you guys watched last video, you guys probably know that this video was coming. I mentioned it in my last video, but I didn't mention this in my last video. I got a huge disclaimer. I do not try to glorify drug use, but instead try to educate young people on the dangers of drugs. Okay, just putting that out there, YouTube. All right, don't get me demonetized. All right. Anyway, this story has a lot of pressure on it. Yeah, this was probably one of the most traumatic drug experiences I've ever had. It was pretty short lived, so I haven't had that many, but it was pretty bad. So this also took place in my sophomore year, but quite a bit after the last video. If you haven't watched the last video, go watch it after this one. It'll give a lot of background, or actually, maybe watch it before this one. You know what? Go watch that and then come back because it'll give you a lot of background on this video. Some characters from the last video are in this video, and it's just a good video to watch. It's a good video. Anyway, this took place back in sophomore year. All right, and this was around January sophomore year. So this was about like I want to say like 5 months after the last video. I had like been hitting some pens, but again, still I didn't know how to inhale. So this was the first time me getting high. All right. So a little bit of background on this story. So every like we had fifth period off. It was me and a couple other kids. We had fifth period off, and every single day we would go to the Starbucks bathroom and they would take dabs while I sat there and watched. Because I wasn't about to take a dab yet. I don't think I was ready for that yet. I was with we're gonna call he was also my best friend at the time. Him and Nelson were, from last video were my best friends at the time. I'm gonna call this kid Lee. All right, I'm gonna call this kid Lee, and then this kid I'm not gonna give a name because, quite frankly, I don't fucking like him. And also he all the dumb shit he always does only makes sense if I tell you his actual name. His actual name is Dane. We don't fucking like this kid around here. All right. Anyway, this kid's name was Dane. And then we have Brooklyn from last video. She was also there. Her and Lee were dating at the time. All right, that's semi important, but not really. But they were dating. Okay, as I said, Nelson and Lee were my best friends the year prior to this, but me and Nelson had fell off. Um, because I don't know, he just him and Lee were fighting, and then I chose to hang out with Lee instead of him because me and Lee had been friends way longer than me and Nelson. So it was only me and Lee at this point, not Nelson anymore. Nelson had fell off. Okay. Again, I'd smoked a few times before this, but I'd never inhaled, so I never got high. Also, if I sound kind of tired, that's my bad. I kind of just woke up, and last night I was going a little crazy on the alcohol, so I'm feeling a little bit, yeah. Anyway, okay, so like normal, we went into the Starbucks by our school during fifth period. This was a block schedule, so fifth period was actually the first period of the day. Okay, so it was early in the morning at this point, and we went into the family bathroom at Starbucks. Lee took out all the smoke shit, and we were rumbling. So since we were broke sophomores, we dabbed out of a glass dropper from Dollar Tree. It kind of like smaller little torch, and the puck. Yeah, of course, we'd go to Dollar Tree to steal these droppers. And the wax was like 90 some percent shatter, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I wasn't really a weed head back then, so I don't really know. Again, this was a couple years ago. Um, Lee took a dab, and then Dane took a dab, and then Brooklyn took a dab, and then it was me. So I'm actually gonna be honest, like I'm not really friends with Lee and especially Dane anymore because a story I think I might have to get into another video. I think I'm gonna get into that story on my first time doing acid video. Um, that video will probably be the longest video I do in a long time. A lot happened in that video. Anyway, so also I'm not friends with Brooklyn because she moved schools last year, junior year. So and me and her don't really talk anymore. And I'm pretty sure she's sober now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's sober now, except for Nick. Because ain't nobody sober from that nowadays. Anyway, so when it's my turn to dab, I already actually knew what to do. I had been preparing and watching these guys do dabs every day, for the past, couple weeks. And they also finally taught me how to inhale. So I was finally ready to smoke. I was prepared. But since they were already stoners and I had never been high, I mimicked the amount they were smoking and the temp they had used. I didn't try taking a small little dab like I should have. I took a fat dab like these guys. So you can tell how that went down. If you guys don't know, dabs are probably one of the strongest concentrates you can consume. It is fucked. Like, holy shit. Like, carts are one thing. Bud is complete. Like, bro, Bud is not even that crazy. Like, but dabs, oh my god, like that was crazy that was the first time I ever got high. So of course I took the fattest dab, it filled the whole bathroom with smoke. I was coughing for like a solid 5 minutes. She was awful. And then it hit around when we had got back to school. Because right after I took a dab, put the shit away, and we went back to school. And Starbucks was like right across the street. It's not there anymore, but it was back then. So, we had gone back to school and I was sitting down at one of the lunch tables. Oh my God, it smacked me right in the face. Everything looked like I was watching it from a movie and shit was moving in my peripheral. And I just felt confused and lost and I didn't know where I was. And I started freaking the fuck out. Like I was like, Lee, like what the fuck is happening? And he was like, shut up, Matt. Like, chillax, bro, chillax. And I was just freaking the fuck out. I didn't know what was going on. Like, listen, this was the first time I ever got fucked up on anything. Like, I had no idea what drugs would feel like. So I was fucked. Anyway, funny enough, last video, if you guys watched last video, you guys know there was Oreos sitting on the table, bro. What is up with Oreos always being there for me smoking in the first few years that I started smoking? Like, what was up with Oreos always being there? And oh my god. So I I'd started chillaxing a little bit because Cade told me what was going on. I was just high and I started understanding that. I was just high. I started freaking out a little bit more later, but we'll get to that. So I chilled out a little bit and I was eating these Oreos, and I remember I felt every single grain and fiber go through my throat when eating these Oreos. It was freaky. So that started freaking me out. Like I couldn't eat these Oreos and my mouth started getting really dry. So I was like, what the fuck? You know what? I'm really thirsty. I'm gonna take a swig of this Malibu. Hey, if y'all got some alcohol with you, take a swig. Let's go. Ugh, dude, that's just ass. Ugh. That'll get me up in the morning. Anyway, so yeah, I started freaking out more, yelling Lee's name like in the whole cafeteria. I was being loud as fuck. So they were all like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then Lee, he put an earbud in my ear and started playing some chill ass music. And that instantly fixed everything. After he did that, it fixed everything. Um, I instantly calmed down. I was just sitting there vibing to the music. When you listen to music when you're high, it kind of just less intensifies everything that's going around and you kind of only focus on the music. So if you pro tip, if you guys ever like start freaking out on weed, just plug in your AirPods and just listen to some nice chill music. And it will almost always help. Anyway, also another funny thing is this girl I was talking to around this time. We'll call her Lexi because here I'm gonna give some backstory on this bitch Lexi. So she had started liking me, and we were talking in sophomore year, and then a week after this, we started dating, but only for a week. Okay, but it doesn't end there. Like literally last year, in my junior year, around March, all the way to June, we started dating again. Bro, we dated again. We were dating for a solid 3 months. Like this is a girl like I that always has come back to me. But this is the first time we kind of like met. So it was really interesting. Like this girl that kind of like taught me a lot of things, and like was like one of the first like big girlfriends I ever had. You know, um, she started showing up in my life around this time. So I think this story, yeah, it's just a canon event in my life, guys. Anyway, she checked on me and she started laying on me, to calm me down, and that really helped. Like a girl is just laying on you, like, while you got some good music, while you're high as fuck, just really calms you down. So I was chill now. I was like, "All right, we're good. We're good now." I was chill. And of course, sixth period started. And, Lee and Brooklyn and Dane had to go, So, I was like, "Fuck no." I had English class after that. And oh my god, the English teacher, dude, his name, I can't say his real name. We're gonna call him Mr. Wyrick. I think that's a name of one of my other teachers, but it's not this guy's name. This guy's name was not Mr. Wyrick, but that's all I could think of. I fucking hated this guy. This guy was my op. For reference, he walked around the school barefoot. Okay, he literally walked around the school barefoot, and he would like be fake feminist, showing us all these feminist videos. He was just a weird guy. He would like go up close to girls and like smell them. He kind of reminded me of Joe Biden. Yeah, he really reminded me of Joe Biden. I hated that fucking teacher. He's actually like the least favorite teacher I've ever had. So of course I didn't fucking go to this class. I was like, hell no, I'm not going to this class. So of course I sat there for another 2 hours in silence and just watched YouTube until lunch started after sixth period and I met back up with Lee. And he asked how I felt and, was checking on me. He was like, how'd you do, And I was like, good, good, good. I did okay. Like, I wasn't peaking anymore because I don't know if you guys know, but if you take dabs, the peak only really lasts like at max 30 minutes. And then after that, it's just kind of come down. So I was good. And, after that, like, the high just wore off and, that was the rest of the day. Some bad shit did happen. Like, my mental state started going down a lot after this because, I had freaked out and I think I started getting a lot of dissociation. So this day just really just was ass. But I guess that's the end of this story. Like, there's a few things that happen after this, but like they don't really matter, and I might get to them in a later video. All right. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this fucking video. I know it was a little bit longer, but hey, this video is this story is one of my favorites to tell. And hey, fuck it, y'all. Grab your joint, grab your blunt, grab your bowl, your cart, your bong, whatever you got in your hand. Take a hit of that. I'll see y'all next video. Peace out, gamers.